Hello everybody, and welcome to Ancient Architects. Please subscribe now to get the latest ancient history news and independent research from around the world. Breathtaking, spectacular, awe-inspiring, spine-tingling and magnificent are just a few of the words that people have used to describe Sigiriya, an ancient city built on top of and around a giant granite outcrop that rises out of a plain in a remote region of Sri Lanka. Human occupation aside, this is a stunning natural geological wonder, but the fact the entire rock was turned into a palace adds another fascinating dimension to its beauty. It is located in the Matale District of the central province of Sri Lanka, and was designated a World Heritage Site back in 1982. And although there has been a great deal of archaeological work at the site, much of it remains shrouded in mystery. Experts say the region has been inhabited since prehistoric times, due to the discovery of a rock shelter to the east of Sigiriya that displays evidence of human occupation at least 5,000 years old. Also, many of the rock shelters show clear evidence of once being occupied by Buddhist monks, and they date back to as early as the 3rd century BC, which is apparently older than the age of the ruins that we see on and around the rock. These ruins are believed to date back to the 5th century AD, when the brutal King Kassapa transformed the natural wonder into a palace, fortress and pleasure garden. He was brutal because he arranged the assassination of his own father, and then usurped power from his brother Moggallana, the rightful heir to the throne. It is said that the city of Sigiriya was built as a fortified palace because he feared his brother's vengeance, and although we can't say many positive things about the king, you could say he knew how to make an incredible fort. Looking at photographs of this site, and it's impossible to think how anybody could overrun it and defeat King Kassapa, but amazingly, that's exactly what happened in the year 495 AD. He lost a major battle at Sigiriya and then cut his own throat, allowing his brother to rightfully take the throne. Moggallana then returned Sigiriya to the Buddhist monks, and the site became a monastery, and stayed that way to the 14th century. So, this city has certainly had a colourful history, but to this day, it remains one of the best preserved examples of ancient urban planning, and according to ancientorigins.net, in a brilliant article written by April Holloway that is linked below in the description, it shows techniques and technology far more advanced than believed possible for the time. As the article says, the city layout combines concepts of symmetry and asymmetry to intentionally interlock the man-made geometrical and natural forms of the surroundings. The city isn't just the buildings on the rock itself, but a large area surrounding it. It contains a park for royalty, which is symmetrical in plan and contains water-retaining structures with sophisticated surface and subsurface hydraulics, some of which still work today some 1500 years later. There is a large man-made reservoir to the south and smaller reservoirs dotted around the site. Water could be released from these reservoirs to fill the moats, and these are the functions that still work to this day. There is also a large monastery in the city. There were and still are thick defensive walls, ramparts and moats around the site, and 5 gates surround it, with the elaborate western gate thought to have been reserved for the king. Through the main entrance to the site, to the start of the ascent up to the palace on the rock, you pass through terraced gardens with fountains, watercourses, pebbled floors and polished marble. Visitors today get to the palace on top of the rock through what would have once been an entrance on the north side, and this entrance was nothing short of spectacular. There was once a head, shoulders and front paws of an enormous lion projecting from the rock, and you access the palace by walking through its huge open jaws. Artists' impressions look like something from Indiana Jones or Tomb Raider. The 2 carved paws still remain to this day, though the head and shoulders have collapsed, but the paws do give us some idea of the scale of the lion. It is no surprise that, in English, the monument is known as Lion Rock. But as well as a palace, water features, fortifications and gardens, there are also a number of caves with beautifully painted scenes of women. One fresco is apparently 140 metres wide and 40 metres high, making it one of the largest murals in the world. Although only 22 female figures have survived to this day, some estimate that more than 500 women were once depicted, shown like celestial beings descending from the sky. It is known as the Maidens of the Clouds. The detail is spectacular, but the meaning of these murals is unknown. To reach these frescoes, you have to tackle a narrow brick staircase and then up a winding iron staircase that has been added to the rock and shown here from an article by Thomas Dowson on archaeologytravel.com. This article is linked below in the description. Some say that these murals date back to when the city was built, whilst others say they are hundreds of years older. Although we have the historical version of events regarding how and why the city was built, local legends say something quite different. They say that Sigiriya was created by the gods, who descended from the sky and modelled it on the mythical abode of Kuvera, the god of wealth, who lived in a palace of the sky. With that in mind, are the women in the murals goddesses related to this legend, or are they what some archaeologists believe of courtesans of King Kassapa? Maybe the ancient legend of a palace in the sky actually originated from the murals. The site also has a section of wall that was once so highly polished that the king could see himself whilst walking alongside it. It was like a giant mirror. It is made of bricks and was covered in highly polished white plaster. Archaeologists have noted that 685 verses have been written on this wall, like ancient graffiti that dates back to the 8th and 10th centuries. Each verse is like a poem, about such things as love, irony, and various other life experiences. One also attempts humour, writing, "I am Budal. I came with hundreds of people to see Sigiriya. Since all others wrote poems, I did not." And that's all he wrote. The whole city is a mystery because of the incredible level of effort that went into building it, especially the palace on top of the giant rock. It's one thing building a fort on top of a rock, but another to have an astonishing level of planning and engineering as seen in the detail of the city. Yes, it was built for the protection of a king, I get that, but does that justify the inconceivable amount of work, which includes dragging all the building materials to a height of 200 metres? Maybe, but maybe not. Some say that this actually wasn't originally built as a palace for the king, but was actually a far more ancient city that was rebuilt and refortified by Kassapa, in the same way that people think that Machu Picchu was reused and reoccupied by the Inca of Peru. Ancient traditions say that buildings on top of high mountains was a way for people to reach the heavens, and so, as April Holloway says in her article, a hilltop palace was probably viewed as a gateway between our world and the world of the gods. But I still have to ask, just how old is Sigiriya? Archaeologists didn't visit the city until the early 1800s, and although a number of excavations have taken place, large parts of the city remain undisturbed. Finds from the summit do place its construction in the 5th century AD, so we have no reason to doubt the official age. But I'll have to wade through the old archaeological reports to find out more about the finer details of the architecture. Sigiriya really is yet another ancient wonder of the world, and many people know very little about it. It is a truly breathtaking archaeological site, and I'll be making a follow-up video in the future about some of the mysterious and magnificent finer details. But to end this video, I'll show you some more stunning photographs that have been posted online, to the fabulous music of Ross Bugden, whose channel is linked below in the description. Thank you for watching, and if you're ever in Sri Lanka, this is the place to visit. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Ancient Architects. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video, and please leave a comment below. Thank you very much.